You know how they say nobody wins in the Pain Olympics? Nobody told narcissists that, because they go for gold every time. Now, there are countless ways this shows up and in countless scenarios, but the end goal is always the same. Control. Whether it's to control the person, control the scenario, control the narrative, control where the spotlight is. And again, there are countless ways that this shows up. But in my last relationship, it most showed up whenever I'd have any kind of concern about his behavior. I remember trying to explain to him why I was hurt that he dropped the ball on something, and explaining that I needed something that was honestly base level human consideration. But I was essentially pleading for it like it was extraneous by saying that it was because of my trauma that I needed it. And I could barely get that sentence out when he interrupted me with, "Well, what about my trauma?" And I summoned all of my patience and turned to him and said, "Would you like to have a conversation about the accommodations you need as a result of your trauma?" And he just crossed his arms and looked away and went, "No, I'm good." Because the point wasn't to have a good faith conversation about the things we need because of the traumas we've experienced in the past. The idea was to derail it and invalidate me. And that's one of the cuter examples. Now, I would be months out of this relationship before I would realize this pattern. But I noticed that his dark thoughts only showed up when I would be asking for even the tiniest bit of accountability from him. And likewise, these were the only times he would have bad days at work. But I realized something extra terrible about those dark thoughts only returning when I would be asking for any kind of accountability. This was more than just a way to derail the conversation and take the focus off his behaviors and instead tending to him and his needs. This was a watered down version of the "you can't do that or else I'll myself." And given the things that he has lied about, that just makes it a special level of terrible. They will use the Pain Olympics to make sure that your needs are ignored and your concerns are shut down. They will go for gold so that the only person who is getting any attention is them. And the only way to win at these games is to withdraw from the competition entirely.